Ha Long Bay in northeast Vietnam is known for its emerald waters and more than 1,000 uninhabited limestone islands towering out of the sea, topped by rainforests. With so many spectacular islands around the bay, cruising will give you a closer look and the most convenient way to visit magical Ha Long Bay. This extraordinary area was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994. Ha Long Bay sits some 175 kilometres from the country's capital, Hanoi, and takes around 2.5 hours to reach by road. I booked a minibus from my Hanoi city centre hotel to take me to the cruise terminal. From there, I met up with my fellow passengers and jumped on a ferry which took us to the boat which was moored offshore. You get a safety briefing and the itinerary explained before being able to enjoy a buffet lunch as the boat sets off on the cruise. Ha Long Bay has a tropical monsoon climate with two main seasons, the hot and rainy season from May to October and the cool, dry season from November to April. During the hot season, temperatures can reach up to 35 degrees C with high humidity and frequent rain showers, while during the cool season, temperatures average around 20 degrees C with less rainfall. Overall, the best time to visit Ha Long Bay is from October to April, when the weather is pleasant and the visibility is better for viewing the scenic landscape. Peak season naturally means higher prices and more tourists. However, you will enjoy better weather conditions at this time. In contrast, the off-peak season means discounts on tours and accommodation with a higher risk of weather warnings. Peak season makes up most of the year, but it really peaks in the summer when many Vietnamese people take their annual vacation, adding domestic tourists to the usual mass of international tourists. Prices become more inflated and there may be long waits to see attractions. The price of Ha Long Bay cruises varies depending on the cruise types and travelling dates. All cruises allow you to soak in the unforgettable scenery and experiences. However, you must do your research beforehand to select the best option for you. Personally, I opted for a 3-day, 2-night cruise with Mon Cheri. Although most of the companies offer very similar itineraries, it should be noted that you will be surrounded by other boats throughout your voyage, which detracts from the splendour of the scenery and peacefulness somewhat. If you're looking for an activity-based cruise, there are plenty to choose from. Personally, I came to Ha Long Bay to soak in the scenery in a relaxed environment, and jumping into a kayak or trekking through crowded caves simply didn't attract me. Having the boat to myself, as everybody chose to go on excursions, was blissful and made my voyage a largely tranquil experience. It was even too energetic to join a small group of other passengers to start each day on the top deck of the boat, watching the sunrise over the magical landscape as you learn the spiritual techniques of Tai Chi or yoga. My 3-day, 2-night cruise in Ha Long Bay with Mon Cheri Cruises costs around £420, about $500 US dollars. So it's not a cheap experience, but it's definitely worthwhile. It's worth going on a nice cruise ship with a bit of luxury and to enjoy the sights and sounds of this wonderful part of Vietnam. So this is my cabin on the Mon Cheri cruise. So, rather large bed. And TV there. Nice air conditioning unit. This is the view from my balcony. Nice balcony here. It's not a bad view, is it? Got kettle there, some water, little closet space, and the bathroom. So a nice shower. It's pretty spacious, isn't it? Not too bad at all. So the cruise is for 3 days and 2 nights. So I'm going to make the most of this wonderful scenery. The Mon Cheri boat was launched in 2019. It immediately fell into the COVID times, so it wasn't really used until March of 2022, when initially there were a lot of local Vietnamese passengers, and now as the tourists start to come back to Vietnam, that has started to increase and the ship's getting busier. The ship has 24 berths. This is Mon Cheri 2 that I'm on. Mon Cheri 1 has 18 berths. They're nice. I think it's a comfortable size. Certainly I would prefer a ship of this size rather than the massive ships. It's got all the facilities you'll need, and the staff are absolutely fantastic. Really try and make your trip an enjoyable one. Talk to you, practice their English, but most of all, they ensure that the guests have a great time. You will be able to explore one of the largest and most spectacular caves on Ha Long Bay, Dark and Bright Cave. There are also excursions to kayak and swim at a pristine beach, or like me, just stay on board in the mini pool with a jacuzzi. Fortunately, everyone went on the excursion, so I had the boat to myself, drinking cold beer served by the crew as I enjoyed the scenic views of the bay. On the second day, you have a chance to ride a bike around the winding roads and meet local inhabitants. The cabin was comfortable and the choice and quality of the food is excellent. On my boat, they even had a small putting green to practice my golf whilst on board. The crew do everything they can to make your trip memorable, and it is fascinating chatting to them about their life, as many don't get to see their family for several months whilst working aboard the boat. Each evening, guests meet at the bar on the top deck to enjoy 2 cocktails for the price of 1. You do pay extra for alcohol, which is added to your bill, and you pay at the end of your cruise by credit or debit card. At night, or when you stop for an attraction, the boat drops anchor and you're stationary. However, you're normally surrounded by 15-20 other boats who are all doing the same thing. There's very little to differentiate the cruises in Ha Long Bay from their itinerary. They all do the same things. So the differentiator has got to be the accommodation and the facilities on board the boat. Choose something that's going to be comfortable for you, with it obviously within your budget, but make sure that you've got all the facilities that you want. I've certainly made use of the upstairs sun lounge. The swimming pool has been great just to relax in. There are good facilities on the Mon Cheri boat, but most of the boats are very similar, and the price points are not outrageously different. So have a look, shop around, and find the best deal that suits you. Vietnamese people love a celebration, so naturally there are many festivals and celebrations to consider when planning your trip. Tet is considered the most important of all national holidays in Vietnam. It is Above all, a time for the Vietnamese people to spend with their family and friends. It's traditionally celebrated on the first day of the Lunar New Year, which is always in January or February. Whilst this is an exciting time of the year, it is also a very busy time, as there are up to 9 days when Vietnamese people are off work travelling up and down the country to visit family, leaving the transportation networks often quite congested. Despite the holiday, Ha Long cruises and tours continue to operate as normal and are sure to be a great time due to the festival mood. Just be sure that you allow extra time if you plan to travel to Ha Long Bay from elsewhere in the country. Ha Long Bay Carnival is an exciting annual festival and draws thousands of tourists from all over the world. Highlights include lively street parades, performances from international troops, dazzling fireworks, and a great display of local culture. The carnival is usually held late April or early May, which is a great time as it coincides with the best weather. Increasing visitor numbers continue to impact the region with pollution. While here, be mindful of the environment. Ha Long Bay is a fragile ecosystem and it is important to take care of it. Avoid littering and dispose of your waste properly. Whilst visiting Ha Long Bay, immerse yourself in the local culture. Try the delicious seafood, interact with the friendly locals, and learn about the fascinating history and traditions of the region. Ha Long Bay is more than just a stunning natural wonder. It is also a place of rich culture, heritage, and vibrant local life. Vietnam is a place of contrasts, and I highly recommend visiting Ha Long Bay to experience its majesty and to relax before continuing your adventures and discovery of this enchanting country.